Don't waste your life. The story that will wake you up forever. There's a sound you hear every single day, but you've stopped noticing it. It's not the tapping of the rain, not even the chatter of people around you. It's the ticking of time. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Every second you ignore it, it's gone. Forever. No one, not the richest man on earth nor the wisest philosopher, has ever managed to bring back a single second once it's gone. And yet, we waste it. We scroll aimlessly. We put off our dreams. We live as if there will always be more time, but there won't be. This is the story of a man who almost lost everything, and how he learned the one lesson that could save your life too. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. Chapter 1. The man who slept through his own life. There was once a man who lived his life as if tomorrow was a promise carved into stone. He wasn't evil. He wasn't cruel. He was ordinary. He woke up every morning at the same time. He walked the same street. He spoke to the same people about the same things. He smiled when required. He nodded when expected. And when the day was done, he went to bed thinking there's always tomorrow. But tomorrow never came. Not the tomorrow he dreamed of when he was younger. He used to talk about traveling the world. He said he would one day write a book, start a business, maybe even learn to play the piano. He had lists of things he wanted to do when the time was right. But somehow, the time was never right. There was always a reason to wait. Money was tight. Work was busy. The kids were small. The house needed fixing. There were bills to pay. And so he waited. One day, without realizing it, his youth slipped away. The hands of the clock had been moving while he wasn't looking. The seasons had changed. The people around him had aged. And the mirror no longer showed the face of a young dreamer, but of a man who had been quietly drifting. He had been alive, but not awake. Breathing, but not living. I tell you this not to sadden you, but to warn you. Life does not wait. It does not knock on your door and say, I'm ready for you now. It moves forward with or without you. If you do not wake up and claim it, you may find yourself like the man in this story, looking back, realizing that your greatest loss was not money, not opportunities, not relationships, but time. Because time is the only thing that, once gone, never returns. We all know people like him. Some of us are him. We think we have more years than we do. We believe we can waste this month, this year, even this decade, because the future will make it up to us. But the truth is, the future only belongs to those who build it now. You may be listening to this while scrolling your phone, half distracted, thinking this is just another piece of advice you've heard before. But ask yourself, how many days have you lived without truly living? How many mornings have you opened your eyes without feeling excitement for the day ahead? How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, and then didn't? The man in our story didn't notice the years stacking on top of each other, like pages in an unread book. And then one day, he reached the last chapter without even realizing he had skipped all the good parts. The saddest part? He didn't fail because he tried and lost. He failed because he never even began. So let this be your wake-up call. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Do not sleep through your own life. Do not let comfort wrap around you like a warm blanket while your dreams freeze in the cold outside. Do not be the person who one day whispers, if only, because the only thing more painful than falling is never jumping at all. Wake up. Take the first step. Lie before life slips away unnoticed. Chapter 2. The Price of Waiting. The rain had stopped, but the streets still glistened like a memory that refused to fade. Ethan sat in the small corner cafe he had visited every Saturday for the past 12 years. Same table, same coffee, same view of the clock tower through the fog window. He had once promised himself that he would come here only temporarily, just until he figured out what to do with his life. But years had passed, and temporarily had turned into forever. This is the price of waiting. It doesn't announce itself with sirens. It comes quietly, slipping into your life like a thief, stealing days and replacing them with routines that feel safe but empty. The first cost of waiting is invisible time. When you postpone action, you don't lose a single dramatic chunk of life. You lose it grain by grain, second by second. It's not a wound you see. It's a slow leak in the soul. Ethan thought he was being careful. He was waiting for the right moment, waiting for more savings, waiting until he felt ready. But here's the truth nobody tells you. You will never feel completely ready. And while you wait, the world keeps moving forward without you. The second cost of waiting is opportunity decay. Opportunities are like fruit. They don't stay ripe forever. That dream job you didn't apply for, someone else took it. That business idea you kept in your head, someone else launched it. That love you didn't express, someone else walked her home. Ethan once had a chance to move to another city and work on a project that would have changed his career. But he said, maybe next year. Next year never came. The company closed. The chance was gone. The third cost of waiting is the slow death of desire. When you keep postponing, your dreams don't just wait politely in the corner. They fade. They grow weaker. Until one day, you wake up and realize you don't even want them anymore. Ethan once dreamed of writing a book. He still told people he was working on it, but it had been 15 years. His dream was no longer a fire. It was just smoke drifting away. We often imagine that waiting is harmless, that life will patiently stand by until we're ready. But the truth is brutal. Waiting has interest rates. The longer you delay, the more expensive the cost. And unlike money, time spent can never be earned back. That afternoon, Ethan looked at the clock tower one last time. He realized something both terrifying and liberating. The right moment would never arrive. Only the moment he chose would be right. And so, for the first time in years, he didn't order coffee. He stood up. He walked out into the streets. And with every step, he felt the price of waiting become the power of moving. Chapter 3, The Illusion of Someday. There's a phrase, soft and tempting, that whispers in the ears of dreamers and procrastinators alike. Someday, it sounds harmless, like a gentle promise, a sweet excuse. Someday I'll start that project. Someday I'll learn the skill. Someday I'll chase my passion. But someday is a trick, a mirage shimmering on the horizon that drifts farther away the closer you try to get. Maya was a woman filled with dreams. She wanted to paint. She wanted to travel. She wanted to speak her truth loud and clear. But every time she told herself, someday, she placed her dreams on a dusty shelf. Someday I'll find time. Someday I'll have money. Someday I'll be brave enough. Years passed. Someday never came. Someday is a great deceiver because it makes waiting feel like choice, when in reality it is surrender. The truth? Someday is a word created by fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of the unknown. It masks itself in comfort, convincing you that you are in control. But control is an illusion. One day, Maya's health took a sudden turn. The doctor's words were sharp and cold. You need to start living your life now. There was no someday anymore. Only now. And Maya realized a cruel truth. She had been giving her time away to a fantasy, a tomorrow that might never come. Do not be fooled by someday. It is a cage disguised as freedom. Break the chains. Turn someday into today, because there is no better moment to begin than this very second. As the sun set that evening, Maya picked up her brushes. For the first time, she painted not for the future, but for the now. And with each stroke, she reclaimed her life from the illusion of someday. Chapter 4, The Weight of Distraction. In the age of endless noise, the loudest battle we face is not against enemies, but against ourselves. Distraction. It sneaks into our lives like a thief in the night, stealing moments so quietly that we rarely notice their absence until the damage is done. Meet Zara. She was once full of fire, her heart a compass guiding her toward dreams bigger than the sky. But slowly, day by day, she found herself caught in the web of distractions. The blinking notifications, the endless scrolling feeds, the constant pull of trivial entertainments. She told herself, just 5 more minutes. But 5 minutes turned into hours and hours into lost days. The problem with distraction isn't just that it wastes time. It steals presence. When Zara sat with her family, her mind wandered to the screen. When she worked on her passion, a buzzing phone pulled her away. She was physically there, but her soul was elsewhere. The weight of this absence grew heavier with each passing day. Distraction doesn't just take your time, it erodes your focus, your energy, and most tragically, your will. It disguises itself as relaxation, but leaves behind a residue of regret. It whispers, later, 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 while your life quietly slips through your fingers. There's a moment everyone must face, the moment Zara had, when she realized that no dream can thrive in the soil of distraction. She decided to fight back. She turned off notifications. She created boundaries. She learned to say no, not just to others, but to herself, to the temptation of the easy, meaningless scroll. With each victory over distraction, Zara felt lighter. Her mind sharpened, her creativity bloomed, and her days gained purpose. She remembered what it felt like to be truly present, truly alive. Distraction is a silent oppressor, but awareness is the first step to freedom. And freedom is the birthplace of every great story, every bold dream, every fulfilled life. So ask yourself, what distractions are weighing you down? What noise is stealing your focus and your time? Remember, the lighter your burden, the faster you'll move toward the life you're meant to live. Zara's story is a reminder. You don't have to surrender your time to distraction. You have the power to reclaim it. Chapter 5, The Power of Saying No. In the symphony of life, every note we choose to play shapes the melody we leave behind. But too often, we let others decide our song, agreeing to every request, every distraction, every demand, until the music of our own dreams is drowned out. This is the story of Amir, a kind-hearted soul with endless generosity. He wanted to help everyone, be everywhere, say yes to every invitation, every favor. But slowly, his days began to crumble under the weight of too much yes. His own passions were pushed aside, his energy drained, his dreams postponed. One evening, after agreeing to yet another obligation, Amir sat alone, exhausted and empty. He realized that in trying to be everything for everyone, he had become nothing for himself. The power to say no, a simple word, had been lost. Saying no is not rejection. It is a declaration of self-respect, a boundary that protects the fragile garden where your dreams grow. Amir began to practice saying no. No to distractions. No to time wasters. No to demands that did not serve his purpose. At first, it was uncomfortable, like breaking an old habit. But with each no, he felt a piece of himself return. This power, the power to say no, is freedom. Freedom to say yes to what truly matters, to the work that moves your soul, to the people who uplift your spirit. Remember, every time you say yes to something meaningless, you say no to something meaningful. Every no is a brick in the foundation of your future. Amir's life transformed not because opportunities came easier, but because he cleared space to receive them. So ask yourself, what will you say no to today? What will you protect by turning down the noise? Saying no is not selfish. It is the courage to honor your own story. Chapter 6, The Legacy Question. There comes a moment in every life, a quiet pause, when we look beyond the noise and ask ourselves a question that echoes through time. What will I leave behind? Not money, not possessions, but something far greater, a legacy. James was a man of simple means, but complex thoughts. One evening, as the sun bled into the horizon, he sat on the porch of his childhood home, worn hands wrapped around a steaming cup of tea. His mind wandered to the future, not just his future, but the future of those who would come after him. What stories will they tell about me? He wondered, will they speak of my kindness? Will they remember my laughter? Will my life have mattered? The truth is, legacy is not born from grand gestures. It grows in the everyday moments, the smiles we share, the help we offer, the truths we live by. James thought back to his father, a humble man who never owned much but gave freely. His time, his wisdom, his heart. And James realized legacy is not about wealth. It's about impact. Legacy asks a hard question. Are you living a life worth remembering? Because someday, the pages of your story will be all that remain. This question can be terrifying and inspiring. It can wake you from comfort's low and push you toward purpose. Imagine standing at the edge of your life story. What would you want the last lines to say? He lived without fear. She loved fiercely and gave freely. They changed the world, one small act at a time. Legacy is a call to live intentionally today, to build something that outlasts the fleeting moments. James knew he had time to change the ending of his story, to fill the pages with meaning, love, and courage. So, the legacy question is not just for the old or the wise. It is for you, right now. Ask yourself, when you are gone, what will remain? What will your story inspire? Because the truth is, your life is a story being written every day, and legacy is the beautiful imprint you leave behind on the hearts of others. Chapter 7, The Turning Point. Every great story has a moment when everything changes, the moment when a hero stands at crossroads and chooses a new path. This is a turning point. Meet Layla. For years, she drifted through life like a leaf in the wind, caught in currents she didn't control. Her dreams were distant stars she thought she might reach someday, but life, as it often does, shook her awake. One rainy evening, after a long day of feeling lost and exhausted, Layla looked into the mirror and barely recognized the person staring back. Her eyes were tired, not just from sleepless nights, but from a lifetime of neglecting herself. She realized she was living a life shaped by fear, doubt, and the expectations of others. Her heart ached for change, but the path forward was unclear. Then came the moment, a small decision, a whisper inside that said, "Enough." She didn't have to fix everything at once. She just had to take the first step. Layla chose to leave behind what no longer served her, the toxic relationships, the negative self-talk, the endless what-ifs. She embraced the discomfort of change. She stepped into the unknown with trembling courage. This turning point was not marked by fireworks or grand announcements. It was quiet, personal, and deeply profound. Because a turning point is not about perfection, it's about commitment. From that day forward, Layla lived differently. She nurtured her passions. She surrounded herself with those who believed in her. She forgave herself for the years lost, but vowed never to lose another day. Her story changed because she changed. And you can too. You may feel stuck, overwhelmed, or afraid. But remember, every journey begins with a single step. Your turning point might come today, or tomorrow, or next week. But when it does, be ready to embrace it. Because in that moment, your life stops being a story of waiting and becomes a story of becoming. So, listen closely for that quiet whisper inside. Are you ready to say, "Enough"? It's time. Chapter 8, Living with Fire. There's a fire that lives inside each of us, sometimes smoldering quietly beneath the ashes of routine, sometimes blazing bright enough to light the darkest night. This fire is purpose, passion, the fierce desire to live fully. Meet Omar. Once, Omar's days were colorless, filled with tasks he didn't love, moments he barely noticed, and dreams he had long forgotten. But one morning, something changed. He awoke not to the sound of an alarm, but to the call of that fire inside him, a restless, burning urgency that refused to be ignored. Omar remembered the words of a mentor. Don't just live to survive. Live to inspire. Live to burn with a fire so bright that it ignites the world around you. From that moment, Omar began to live differently. He embraced challenges instead of fearing them. He pursued his passions without apology. He chose courage over comfort. Living with fire means waking up every day with a fierce commitment to your dreams. It means pushing through doubt, hardship, and fear, not because the journey is easy, but because the destination is worth every step. The fire does not burn out because it is fueled by purpose. When Omar spoke to others about his transformation, he noticed something incredible. People gravitated toward his energy, his light. His fire inspired others to find their own. This fire is contagious. It is the spark that turns dreams into reality. It is the heartbeat of a life lived fully. So ask yourself, what would it feel like to live with fire? To greet each morning not as a burden, but as a gift? To chase your dreams relentlessly, no matter the cost? Omar's story is a testament that when you live with fire, you become unstoppable. You become a force of nature. You become alive. Will you let your fire burn today? Or will you let the ashes settle once more? The choice is yours, and your life story depends on it. Chapter 9, Your Turn. Now, the story is no longer just about others. It's about you. All this time, you've been listening, absorbing the journeys of Elias, Ethan, Maya, Zara, Amir, James, Layla, and Omar. Their struggles, their awakenings, their victories. But the page has turned. The spotlight is on you. Imagine holding a pen in your hand, poised over the blank page of your own story. What will you write? Will you choose to stay trapped in the chains of waiting, distraction, and fear? Or will you rise? The power is in your hands, your choices, your actions, your will. Every moment you hesitate is a moment lost. Every excuse is a chain tightening around your dreams. But every step forward, no matter how small, is a spark, a promise, a revolution. The truth is, no one else can live your story for you. No one else can fight your battles or take your leaps. This journey is yours alone. So what will it be? Will you let life pass by like a distant ship on the horizon? Or will you be the captain of your destiny? Today, not tomorrow, is your chance to wake up with fire, to say no to distractions, to say yes to your dreams, to write your legacy. Remember, you don't have to leap from the highest mountain to start living fully. Sometimes it begins with a simple decision, a decision to begin. The stories you heard, the lessons you learned, they all lead to this moment, your moment. So rise, step into your story with courage, and let the world hear your voice. Your story is waiting. Will you begin writing it now? The clock keeps ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock. There is no pause, no rewind, no reset button. In the grand theater of life, every second counts, especially the final second. Imagine the moment when your story comes to its last page. Will it be a tale of regrets and what ifs? Or a masterpiece of courage, passion, and purpose? That final second may seem far away, but it is closer than you think. What you do right now shapes how your story ends. So listen carefully. This moment is your turning point, your chance to seize life before it slips away. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Because the only thing certain is time itself, moving forward. Live fully, love fiercely, dream boldly, and when your final second arrives, you will smile knowing you truly lived. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If the story touched your heart and ignited a spark within, please subscribe to the Storyteller channel. Here, every story is a step toward a better you. Hit the like button, share with those who need this message, and comment below. What will your story be? Remember, your life is the greatest story you will ever tell. Let's write it together.